Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. It's story time with Prof. Hoff. So grab a bag of popcorn, maybe your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy, because this is a good one. I'm going to take you back to December of 2021. I have a girlfriend who I've been on a few dates with, a few new dates, I should say, and we're finally out in public at one of our favorite restaurants. It's one that I personally have a major stake in. And that's Texas Roadhouse, because you know how I roll with honey butter. Toward the end of the date, I got to get up and go to the restroom. So I leave, thinking nothing of it. Do my thing, come back. My date's not in her seat. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, did I do something? Did she run away? Did she call an Uber? No, thankfully not. She was chatting it up with a couple of strangers to me who were in a booth next to us. Immediately, these people make me feel better about the situation because they're friendly, they're approachable, and they end up telling me that they know her very well. And in the process, one of them introduces himself as a pastor. And I wasn't expecting to need Jesus at that moment, but he quickly made me feel a little less anxious by saying that even though he was a pastor, he was also a huge comic book nerd. And in the spirit of that, he had a good friend who owned a comic book shop that I should maybe venture to someday in Ponca City, Oklahoma, a town that I had already been to with my date previously, one of our first get-togethers in my favorite Mexican food restaurant in the world, really when you factor in the chips and the guac and the chimichanga. Well, fast forward to today, February 18th, 2022, a couple months after that first encounter. I find that I have a few hours free in my schedule for once. And so it's a beautiful day. I've been cooped up in the house for about 36 hours because we got ice and snow as a state in Oklahoma on Thursday. So I take a drive to Ponca City and decide to pay this guy a visit. His name is Dave, and he runs Hall of Heroes in Ponca City. And you can see from the pictures that I'm putting on screen now of his store, he has an incredible variety of all the comic books I've ever heard of, and so many I also haven't heard of. He has so many action figures still in the boxes from sets that I had forgotten about, things like the Spider-Man 1990s cartoon show. So I'm intrigued, I'm enamored, but I keep thinking this is the kind of place that could be so cool if I could find something for my Marvel set behind me. Something for my YouTube channel. Something to commemorate the fact that I'm only visiting this place because of that date in Texas Roadhouse where I met the nice people 2 months ago. Well, toward the front, right as you walk in, there are a few glass shelves with really nice figurines. But the one at the very center was the prize of the whole store. And I looked at it, and it looked back at me. And we did have a spiritual moment. I'll admit it. It was Peter Parker in a form I had never seen. Look at this thing. It's amazing. It's very expensive, but it's amazing. I didn't know that kind of sculpture, that kind of mold existed. It looked like a mixture between the Peter Parker I remember from the cartoon show in the 90s and also my first Spider-Man action movie hero, Tobey Maguire, and that design. So I start talking to the owner. Very nice guy. Stops what he's doing just to talk to me. And Dave tells me a little bit about his store and all he's been through, especially in the past year with the pandemic. And then I happen to mention this pastor that I met that said that, I should go by and visit his store. His face lit up. This pastor, turns out, married him and his wife. I asked him, because I wasn't prepared to spend the money, how much he would be willing to negotiate the price, which was $450 plus tax, plus who knows. And he looked it up online. There's only one for sale right now. And I'm going to put the auction up so you can see it. $800 on eBay, plus $80 shipping, plus $100 plus in tax. You're looking at $1,000, if not more, for that transaction. And here I was thinking I couldn't afford $450, and the only one even on the market, because they're numbered to 4,000, only 4,000 are made, was $450, and this was going for, with tax and shipping, $1,000. He looks at me. He tells me it's been there for 10 years. He got it in some kind of trade from somebody that didn't have the room for it anymore. It's in really good condition, better than the condition, I think, than the guy who's selling it for $800 on eBay. And he says, I'll give it to you for $300. $300. And I immediately thought, I think I've got $300 in my car. Maybe. So I run, I count the money, I have it to the $20 bill. I walk in, he has the original box. Check out this box. How cool is that box? And so, I am going to show you what this looks like. I'm going to insert a little drum roll. Wow. I mean, come on. It's even got a Spider-Man stand. This thing is unbelievable. It's also very heavy. It's 13 inches and 40-ish pounds. And so you can see behind me, I have moved clear a spot right between Thanos and my pop figures. So, in the spirit of Thanos, I'm going to snap my fingers and you will see my new set as it is. 1, 2, look at that. How cool is that? The Marvel sign that Adam Robb made me by hand, still so cool. The Prof Hoff sign looks good. If I move out of the way and actually do something I don't normally do, I move my chair over, you can see just how much is already there. I have just a huge collection of gifts from mostly subscribers, you all. But what a cool story, right? On a date, meets some strangers, makes a suggestion, and then this store owner is just the most incredibly generous offer. Really probably took a loss on the item just to make me happy. So, if you're in need of comics or action figures, or you just want to browse a cool shop and get lost online like I did in person, or if you live in Oklahoma and you want to take a drive, check out the Hall of Heroes in Ponca City, Oklahoma. I will put this man's information, his business card, his address up on screen now to end it. Dave, thank you for making my day. Thank you for making my year. Who knew Peter Parker, forever going to be in the background of my channel, was just a 45-minute drive away.